So as with all these guided meditations, I try not to judge how you do them because we do such a short amount of time and usually they take longer. So I just want you to know it's something you can explore on your own, both in meditation when you're not in the thick of the doer or controller, but also when you are, even a short pause. Even just getting it, just saying, okay, it's the controller, and taking 3 breaths begins to interrupt the patterning, begins to give you some more options. You know how they say the 10,000 hours we need for mastery? It may be 10,000 times that you notice this rigidity, and something in you says, okay, meet my edge and soften. But you'll find that what's waiting for you is a quality of beingness that feels like home. That peace that you can really take refuge in. So that is one piece. The other piece I wanted to touch on in our last little bit here together is that when you're not in reactivity, in the times in your life when things are fairly balanced or easier, those are times when you can intentionally explore and rest in this quality, this formless dimension of beingness till it becomes very familiar and very alive for you. So what I'd like to do is guide you in just a few different ways that you can begin to experiment and come into this formless dimension on your own. So again, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes, okay? And we begin with, to me, one of the most simple and beautiful ways that we can begin to take what's called the backward step. And rather than fixating on the phenomena of life, our stories, or the things that are going on in our mind, or even the sounds or sensations, we begin to sense this awareness that's here. And the simplest way is to begin by just awakening your senses. And make sure each sense is awake so that you take some moments to listen. Letting the sounds wash through. Soften and open receptively. Let them really wash through you. And then listening to and feeling the sensations in your body. And as you do that, you'll find that if you soften in certain areas, you allow more flow, more aliveness in the body. So softening the shoulders, the hands, loosening and softening the belly. There's a kind of opening to the life of the body, aware of sounds, aware of sensations, aware of any feelings or moods that are here. Discover what it's like to have your senses wide open, not opposing anything or resisting anything. Totally letting this life live through you. So in the foreground, sensing this entire changing dance. Nothing's holding still. Sounds come, they go. They come again, they go. Sensations arise, bubble up, move. Points of light in the night sky. This whole happening world. Sensing that in the foreground. But see if you can sense in the background the openness that includes everything. This openness of awareness that everything's happening in. Sensing in the background a quality of knowing that everything that's experienced, sound, sensation, it's known by awareness. Just rest in that knowing. You can begin to sense, is that stillness that we seek, isn't it true that it's already here? Can you sense the stillness that's aware of all this activity, vibration, sensation? Can you notice the silence that's listening? There's a great space that holds it all. There's a silence that's listening to thoughts, to sounds. Sensing this presence in the background is sensing your most deeply subjective truth of who you are. Just rest in that beingness. Just be that awareness. So Gil Rinpoche writes, if everything changes, then what is really true? Is there something behind the appearances, something boundless and infinitely spacious in which the dance of change and impermanence takes place? So as a way of closing, to say that there's a whole world to explore when we begin to shift the attention into beingness. And for many people, because our minds are busy or sticky or fixated on what's going on in the story world, it's very difficult to begin to quiet enough to rest in that silence and stillness. Not to worry. It's something that when you do find a moment of calm, just sense, oh, okay, let's see in the background if I can just sense the awareness that's here. And just relax into it. Don't make it a struggle, because you can't get anywhere with struggling. But tonight what we're really looking at is how we have this addiction to, in some way, trying to control what's going on. And if we can begin to catch the places where it's most keeping our lives small, we can begin to practice in a way that undoes the habit. And just the way operant conditioning installs the habit of controlling, we can use operant conditioning to learn more and more how to be in this quality of beingness, of presence. The gift, and the gift is freedom ultimately, but one of the ways of phrasing the gift that I really like is a heart that is ready for anything. That when we have gotten familiar with this quality of beingness, of presence, when that's more familiar than any story about ourselves, there's a certain confidence that arises. And it's this confidence that we can handle whatever comes our way. And it's not a hubris, it's more of a sense of what we are beyond this living, dying form. Sri Nisargadatta puts it this way, he says, as long as you imagine yourself to be something tangible and solid, a thing amongst things, you seem short-lived and vulnerable, and of course you'll feel anxious to survive. But when you know yourself to be beyond time and space, you'll be afraid no longer. Putting our 10,000 hours into becoming familiar with beingness is becoming familiar of who we are beyond time and space. And there's a fearless quality of the heart that arises that then allows us to relate to this life right here, right now, with a tremendous spontaneity, with a tremendous quality of compassion, with a tremendous wisdom. We're not so caught in the waves, we can embrace the waves, we can play in the waves. So I'd like to close with just another brief reflection, just if you will, to close your eyes. And as if for the very first time, just sense, okay, this is a pause. Time to not do anything, nothing to make happen. Just to notice what's actually here. The teacher Talopa says, let go of what is past. Let go of what may come. Let go of what is happening now. Don't try to figure anything out. Don't try to make anything happen. Relax right now and rest. Closing with a prayer of loving kindness. May all beings everywhere come home to the love and the aliveness and the purity of their essence being. May all beings discover a heart that is ready for anything. May all beings know great and natural peace. Namaste.